This is my blink circuit that is connected to digital pin 13. There's my code. Here is a video of my LED blinking faster. Here is my Arduino code where I changed the variable to delay length for 250 milliseconds, but I'm also going to show it when it blinks so that you can't even see the blink.
These values are reasonable based off of the human vision because of the brain's refresh rate.
30 milliseconds. And this is 10 milliseconds, and on my camera screen I can see it flashing a little bit, but on my actual LED light, when I'm looking at it, I cannot tell that it's changing. This is my fade circuit.
Changing the duty cycle value, aka the brightness variable, changes the brightness of the LED, but it's very difficult to see with the typical iPhone camera.
Here is my fade using digital right for question number 4. From my phone screen, it looks like it's blinking, but with my human eye, I can see that it's fading in and out, and then it flashes 4 times. This is my fading faster using 15 milliseconds at the end. And this one you can tell a little more that it's fading and not fading and then blinking. And this one is using 7 milliseconds for the fading in, flashing 4 times and then fading out. And this one is the most clearest you can see with the screen. For my question 5, I decided to make a blinking circuit, and I added a button and different LED colors I have from a different kit, and so it blinks in rainbow order when the button is unpressed, but once I press the button, it starts blinking red, green, white, and then the speed of the blink keeps on increasing, and then once it goes to the circuit, it blinks blue really quickly.
I initially wanted to use the potentiometer to gauge what part of the code I should do, and so if it was like a low end, it would do a certain part, and then if it was higher, then I would do a different part of the code, but unfortunately I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, so I decided to use a push button I had from a different Arduino kit to kind of have the same effect. Now using the push button, I first said what the variable for the button state was, and then when in the void setup, I went through a for loop to set up the 5 LEDs in the output, and then I set up the button as an input. Then I went through my void loop and I read what the button state was, and then if the button was pressed, that means it's high. I first circled through a for loop that sped up the delay by 100, and then my second for loop cycled through blinking the odd pins, and then it blinked the blue LED after it was done through the first cycle of the first for loop. And then my other statement, which was my else, if the button was not pressed, it cycled through every single LED blinking it at 100 milliseconds.